Mike at it. I see a lot of newcomers in here, and I can understand because I've been there, a newcomer, and they start talking about steps that are like way at the other end of the spectrum when I'm trying to get my head around step one. I'm like, first thing I was thinking is, thank God I don't have to listen because I'm not on that step. Mistake. Second thing I'm thinking is that I don't know how to do step 10. I don't think I can do step 10 right now, and that's also inaccurate. And I'm going to share with you why. It's important to listen to what, topics about later steps, but my rule for me is I never share on step I haven't worked. But let's talk about 10, 11, and 12 if you're a newcomer, and how, if I'm a newcomer, how can I incorporate those steps that are seemingly at the other end of the spectrum in my daily life in the beginning. Now, of course, they weren't exactly the way they were supposed to be when I was new, but how can I work a semblance of 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis as a newcomer? Okay? Well, the first thing I need to realize is that by sitting in this room, I am being of service. Don't they say that the object of the steps is to fit myself so I can be of maximum service to other people? And you're thinking, well, I'm a newcomer. I know I ain't being of service to anybody. As a matter of fact, I may even be a burden to somebody because they're paying for my treatment. How are you saying that I'm of service? Well, let me explain it to you, and when I do, you'll know, oh, hell, I guess we are. Because as every one of us sitting here, if we're sitting in this room, I'm not breaking in somebody's house. I'm not wreaking havoc on the road, driving drunk, running over little children. I'm not robbing stores. So in a real way, me sitting here is the beginning of me doing service. So as a newcomer, I needed somebody to tell me that even though I don't feel equipped to go actually out and work with people and be of the kind of service my mind wants to tell me, by me not doing harm, I am being of service. And that is something that a newcomer can do from day one. That is, many newcomers are doing it right now. I cannot break in a house today. Okay, check. I think I can do that. I cannot be drunk today and run over a kid in my car, thinking that I drive better drunk. Check. I think I can do that. Where the real trick starts getting is I need to incorporate a cursory type of step 10 in my life, and here's how I can do it if I'm new. What I need is a pause between impulse and action. See, step 10 is about not creating new wreckage of the present. That's what the entirety of step 10 is about. It's about using what I've learned in the previous steps and incorporate that in a daily regimen that can help me to stop trouble before it starts. See, because I'm good at reacting once I fucked up some shit. That's called being reactive. What these steps are training me to do is be proactive, to learn how to live, that I can live a way of life to where I don't create new wreckage. And if I don't create new wreckage, then I don't have to make amends for the new wreckage that I don't create. See, so how can I do that early on? Now, it's going to take a little practice, but I'm talking about basic things that somebody who's new, and I have to address the newcomer because this is not a written rule. If you're in a meeting and you want to do a topic on some later steps and 80% of the people are new in the room, you automatically change it to a first step meeting because you know who you're talking to. That's generally the rule. I'm not coming down on my boy. I'm using what he did and trying to use it and make it of benefit to everybody in the room, because more than half says, well, I'm not on that step, I don't even have to listen, or that other thing. No, we can start 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis. And I need to remember that as an old-timer, that I still need to do these basic things. That means pause between impulse and action. What is that? If somebody says something, I need to just stop in my tracks and think for a second. Instead of just reacting without thinking, give myself a chance to just think. Is this course of action that I'm thinking about doing smacking my roommate across the head with a broom handle because they said something that I think disrespected me? If I can just think for about 5 seconds, I can realize, 1, I'm fixing to get kicked out of treatment. 2, I'm on the street. Hold on a minute, let me rethink this bullshit. Because I am not as important as I think I am when I get in here. Because when I get here, I'm a raw nerve. They done took away dope. They done took away alcohol. Anything anybody does is rubbing me the wrong way because I am just one pissed off son of a bitch, period. And I know some people know what I'm talking about. So I need that pause between impulse and action. Now, what can I do on a daily basis as far as this God thing that I really have a problem with when I get here? And I'm not in step 2 yet, so I haven't learned my own conception. I need to really do something simple, and I'll tell you something that somebody told me that I could do from the very beginning. That even if I didn't buy into all this stuff 100%, I could do this on a simple level. When I wake up, I was told, when I wake up in the morning, say, God help keep me sober. That's it. When I go to bed at night, I say, God, thanks for keeping me sober today. Now, see, that's a bare beginning. That's simple. Anybody can do it. But that basically is step 11 a little bit. Beginning to rely on something else. Looking for some good orderly direction. You can call it G-O-D, good orderly direction. You can call it G-O-D, group of drunks. But I have to really get that I got a problem. I didn't slide off a rainbow in the treatment center. I didn't slide off a rainbow into these rooms. I got a problem. I need some help. Now let's talk about how I can be of service as far as, let's talk about how, and I needed to hear this, because a lot of people think that I got nothing to give as far as the 12-step, but what am I talking about? I'm talking about something anybody, even with one day, can do as far as 10, 11, and 12, in a cursory way, in a basic way, and really be doing this from the very beginning, that not only makes the beginning steps that I'm going to ultimately work easier, but it makes my life go a hell of a lot smoother because I'm not going around creating new wreckage of the present. Do I have to add to the wreckage of the past that I ultimately have to make amends for? Let's talk about step 12, and then I'm going to stop talking because I feel like we're going to have some serious silences in here after I'm finished talking. We're going to sit here looking at each other. That's why I'm talking a little bit long. So, ask me how I know this. Ask me how I know. They used to call me Swami because I made predictions. You need to go to Silver Star with some of my predictions, okay? You come back in a limo. All right. On 110, it talks about how can a newcomer work the 12th step. You're thinking, I got in my mind that a 12th step is me working the steps with somebody. I'm new. I don't know nothing about the steps. How am I going to take somebody through the steps? This talks about a lot of things that I can do as a newcomer that is 12-step work in the very best sense of the word. So if you're new, and I need to rehear this myself because I need to do some of these things. It says, nor is this the only kind of 12-step work. I'm going to end after this so we can be silent. Nor is this the only kind of 12-step work. We sit in meetings and listen not only to receive something ourselves, but to give reassurance and support which our presence can bring. If our turn comes to speak at a meeting, we try to carry this message. Whether our audience is few or many, this is 12-step work. That means sitting in a meeting, showing respect with a smile on my face, and my presence alone can show another newcomer that this works. And I ain't even worked a step yet. That's got to be good news to somebody here. It talks about there are many opportunities even for those of us who feel unable to speak at meetings or who are so situated we cannot do much face-to-face 12-step work. We can be the ones who take on the unspectacular, important tasks that make good 12-step work possible, perhaps arranging for coffee and cake after the meetings. We don't see much cake anymore. Whether so many skeptical and suspicious newcomers have found confidence and comfort in the laughter and talk. We were laughing before this meeting. I guarantee you there's some newcomers that heard us laughing and cutting up, and it made them feel at home. That's great. That's great right there. Good deal. Wonderful. All right, check this out. See, what this starts with is respect. And I learned a lot about being an adult and respected by coming here. Because I had old-timers tell me, Mike, that shit you're doing is not okay, buddy. You need to straighten up or get the fuck out. They told me that. Now, I was pissed off. But they told me the truth. because I needed somebody to tell me how to live, because I did not know. Here it is right here. It says, perhaps arranging for Kate and Coffin. It says, this is 12-step work in the very best sense of the word. Freely ye have received, freely give is the core of this 12-step. So I just got through reading a bunch of stuff that have nothing to do with carrying somebody through the steps. That is 12-step work in the very best sense of the word. That a newcomer can do from day one. Show respect. Be present. Be a part of the laughter. I can pray to God in that simple way. Help keep me sober. Thanks for keeping me sober. I can have that pause between impulse and action and not create new wreckage of the present. This is something I can do from day one. So does 10, 11, and a 12 apply to the newcomers in the room? All of a sudden, you damn right it does. From day one, baby. And I, as an old-timer, still need to remember these things that I just got through sharing. So this includes everybody. I've had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps in our past.